Hey everyone, thank you so much for clicking my channel. My name is Ciara LaShawn. I'm so glad to see you. Today we're talking about the benefits of breastfeeding your toddler, which is probably one of my favorite topics because I still breastfeed my toddler. You wanna say hi? She has on her apron right now because she was playing in her kitchen. I love you, Avia. She's a year and a half and still breastfeeding, still getting all of these great benefits. So that's what we're talking about today, so that you know what those benefits could be. So there's two main benefits to breastfeeding that I'm going to be covering today: nurture and nutrition. All right, the two N's, nurture and nutrition. So firstly, nurture. Obviously it goes without saying, but breastfeeding your toddler is more than just food. Yes, it's nutritious. Yes, it's good for them. Yes, it's good for their health, and we'll talk about that. But as far as their emotional well-being, as far as their just peace, breastfeeding is such a huge benefit at providing relaxation. When your toddler is nursing, they're not only feeling close to you, I mean literally they're breastfeeding to feel close to you. That's a good benefit. It brings them close, it calms them down. So that nurture is so important to breastfeeding. And then that security, you're building trust with your toddler. So a benefit of a toddler breastfeeding is that you're getting that trust, that you're getting and giving trust, you're giving security, while you're also providing good nutrition. So don't listen to the people who say there's no benefit to breastfeeding your baby once they're 1 or 2. Because there is, and that's just one segment of the benefits, is the emotional health, the mental well-being, the security, the just calmness. That your baby, like Avia, she can be on 10. I don't know about your babies, but Avia, she can be on 10, and the minute I put her on the boob, I mean, she immediately calms down, rests, and relaxes. And that is what I'm saying can happen for your child and happens when your toddlers breastfeed. So if you're about to come up on the 1-year mark and you're breastfeeding and you're like, my baby or my child is getting older, I'm not sure if she's getting any benefit from this. She is. She's getting lots of close time with her mother, or they're getting close time with their mother. They're feeling whole. They're feeling safe. That's important. I know that we live in a world where everybody wants children to grow up so fast and they want them to be independent so fast. But let's embrace them being babies. Let's embrace them being children. Let's embrace them being toddlers. And that's just a part of toddlerhood, to want to be close to your parents, especially as you're growing, you're getting teeth, you're getting all these, you're learning to walk, you're exploring the world, you're tasting new foods, you're experiencing new experiences, you're going different places, you're going to the beach, you're going to the mountains, whatever, you're having all these different experiences. That can be overwhelming for anybody. We're used to everything we're seeing, but the toddlers, the babies, they're not used to everything. So they're experiencing so much and so much stimulation. So breastfeeding gives them that reset, that calm, that place of home. Even when they're not physically at home, being in their mother's arms at the breast, that's home. And I'm so grateful to be able to provide that. And I think that that's something that if you're thinking of or considering to continue breastfeeding your toddler, that's a wonderful gift. All right. So don't let people who talk about the nutrition or that there's no nutritional value, which is false, don't let them discourage you. Because I've even had a doctor, not even gonna lie, I had a doctor tell me that my breast milk doesn't provide any more nutritional value for her when she hit 1. And that's not true. And I'm not a doctor, but that person, they're educated, but they are not educated in lactation. They don't have lactation, they're not a lactation consultant. Any lactation consultant would tell you that your breast milk still has value after a year, or nutritional value after a year. So let's get into the nutritional value of breast milk, because it's so much, y'all. I went on a website called Kelly Mom. All right. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. There were so many resources and quotes about breastfeeding and the benefits of breastfeeding toddlers. I have to read this to you. First of all, these kids are violent. Don't pull it. No. Okay, first of all, the World Health Organization recommends that babies breastfeed for at least 2 years. So let's advocate for that. That is what is expected. let's advocate for that. I feel like people stop prematurely for several different reasons, okay? And that's, my channel is really geared towards helping you have all of the information about breastfeeding before you make that decision to stop, or you make that decision that, oh, it might not be for me, or oh, it may never work for me, or it doesn't work for me. That's what these type of videos are for on my channel, to encourage you, to give you that extra push. Because listen, sis, listen, breastie, you can do it, and it's actually recommended by the World Health Organization that you continue breastfeeding. So gone are the days, I don't know where we got this idea that, you know, breastfeeding for 6 months and is recommended, and then after 6 months it's not recommended. That is not true. It's ideal to breastfeed for at least 6 months. That's like the best. That's giving your baby the absolute best. But if you can breastfeed longer than 6 months, it's still encouraged. It's not invaluable. It is very valuable. Another good thing about the nutritional value of breast milk is that it continues to provide immunities, vitamins, and helps your child with sickness. So breast milk is actually extremely important. You're a toddler. Look at sweet Abby. You want to say hi? No, you can't touch it. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Let's keep reading these great tips. Human milk in the second year postpartum contains significantly, this is all about breastfeeding after the first year. Human milk in the second year postpartum contains significantly higher concentrations of total protein. Hold on, I gotta get her some entertainment. I had to get my laptop with my notes on it because sis has my phone. So let's read these facts together. Human milk in the second year postpartum contains significantly higher concentrations of total protein, lactoferrin, all this, than milk bank samples, and significantly lower concentration of zinc, calcium, iron, and translation. Human milk in the second year postpartum contains higher concentrations of all of this good stuff. Human milk expressed by mothers who have been lactating for more than 1 year has significantly increased fat and energy contents compared with milk expressed by women who have been lactating for shorter periods. During prolonged lactation, the fat energy contribution of the breast milk to the infant diet might be significant. So basically what that doctor told me, and what some of you may have been told, like by people who are like, oh, your breast milk has no value now. You know, it was like back in the day it was good, right? Like the first few months of her life, like your milk was popping, it was very cool, it had all the good stuff, but now there's no good stuff left. That's false, because clearly we're reading the facts, and the facts say that actually if I've been lactating for more than a year, my breast milk actually contains more fat, more energy contents. Let's keep reading. In a study of 250 toddlers in Western Kenya, breast milk provided on average 32% of the child's total energy intake. Breast milk made an important contribution to the fat and vitamin A intakes of toddlers in this community. You see this? Breast milk is accounted for 32% of the child's total energy intake. That's huge. So if you're breastfeeding, don't you for a second think that your breast milk does not provide enough for your child. As a matter of fact, it literally shows that breast milk actually provided 32% of the toddlers, these are toddlers, of their energy intake. Breast milk has the good stuff. It's the good stuff. So when children are between 12 and 23 months, which is toddlerhood, 448 milliliters of breast milk provides, oh gosh, this is a lot. 448 milliliters of breast milk provides 29% of energy requirements, 43% of protein requirements, 36% of calcium requirements, 75% of vitamin A requirements, 76% of folate requirements, 94% of vitamin B12 requirements, 60% of vitamin C requirements. Do you see how much? I mean, even look at that B12, 94%. Breast milk provides almost 100% of your B12 requirements in the second year. Y'all, this is huge. Vitamin A, 75% of the child's vitamin A requirement. And this is still in the second year. So keep breastfeeding. Breast milk continues to be an important source of vitamin A in the second and third year of life. The American Academy of Family Physicians notes that children weaned before 2 years are at increased risk of illness. This is really sad, actually, because I think of, like, you know, you often hear so much about the benefits of breastfeeding and that it helps children with their immune system. It helps moms with their, you know, blood pressure and cancer risk. We think of the fact that, yes, it helps with immunities of so many people who choose to do it. But what makes this sad is that the people who are no longer breastfeeding or don't breastfeed, not saying that all children who don't breastfeed are going to be sick, but it's the fact, if you just look at the facts and the statistics, they show you and they tell you that yes, breastfed kids are healthier, but when we look at the numbers of kids who are very sick and have high risk of illness, they're not breastfed. I mean, it literally says the American Academy of Family Physicians notes that children weaned before 2 are at increased risk of illness. And then it gets really gloomier or just kind of sadder as you keep reading. Breastfeeding toddlers between the ages of 1 and 3 have been found to have fewer illnesses of shorter duration, and lower mortality rates. What's so crazy about this, like, it sounds good. It sounds like it's a good fact, right? It sounds like, wow, that's awesome. Toddlers who are still breastfeeding, they're at lower mortality rate. But think about the babies that aren't. Like, when I read these, I was like, that's tough. Like, yes, that's a good thing, but we live in a culture that tries to move so far away from breastfeeding and create so many just false narratives or lies. Culture itself tries to tell you, no, you don't need to breastfeed. No, just buy the formula. Do you know that formula, you're getting someone rich? Like, you're getting these huge companies and corporations rich. That's why they're pushing it. That's why when you're at the hospital, they have formula. That's why they're pushing it, because they're getting that stuff as well. Like, people are getting paid for that. Again, I'm not judging people who do formula, and I understand that some people, they can't help it. Like, some people have to do that because of different reasons. Like, if you don't have breasts, for instance, I get that. But for those of us who can, I really created my channel because I want you to be fully educated. I want you to be confident. And I want you to have the truth and have this type of information. And it just is hitting me. Like, this type of information is literally life or death. And it actually impacts generations. It's not just impacting you and your comfort, but it impacts... She's watching her show talking. See, you're watching her show back there. But it impacts, you know, future generations. It impacts whoever your child could possibly be. But why not give them the absolute best shot at life? I have a few more and then we'll be done. Antibodies are abundant in human milk throughout lactation. That's good. Antibodies are abundant. So it doesn't matter how long you've been breastfeeding, the antibodies are abundant. In fact, some of the immune factors in breast milk increase in concentration during the 2nd year and also during the weaning process. So get this, the immune factors actually could increase on the 2nd year, actually increase during your 2nd year, not decrease. So when people say, oh, you don't need to breastfeed, I'm actually giving my baby more immunity now than ever before. I just feel like it makes sense to keep going and to continue breastfeeding. Let's read this last fact. Per the World Health Organization, a modest increase in breastfeeding rates could prevent up to 10%. Oh, this one is hard, y'all. This one is hard. It almost makes me want to cry. Per the World Health Organization, a modest increase in breastfeeding rates, Jesus, let it be so, could prevent up to 10% of all deaths of children under 5. Breastfeeding plays an essential and sometimes underestimated role in the treatment and prevention of childhood illness. I'm not even trying to be like guilt or mom shaming, guilt shaming, anything like that. Like, I don't want anyone to feel that if you formula feed. But as I say all the time, like, my channel is a place for women who desire to breastfeed. So if you desire to breastfeed, you're in the right place, because I'm gonna put that fire under your booty. I'm gonna encourage you. I'm gonna give you all the information that you need so that you can keep going. And this is motivational. If I've never seen anything be this motivational, like, it almost makes me want to cry, because you see that 10%, we can prevent 10% of all early childhood deaths if we just breastfeed. And like I said, I get it if you can't do that. I get it. But having low milk supply or thinking you have low milk supply, that's not a reason not to breastfeed. Seriously, watch some of my other videos because I have videos about low milk supply and why I believe that, because a lot of people, they misdiagnose themselves as having low milk supply. Your child biting you once, oh my gosh, I'm also doing a video on this. Your child biting you, I've heard this story when someone says, oh, my child bit me, I had to stop. Y'all, I've been breastfeeding for almost 2 years at this point. Avia, she's bit me before, duh. And but it's not worth her life, it's not worth her death. So like, I've continued breastfeeding. All I've done is tell her, no, don't bite me, and she really doesn't bite me anymore. I mean, honestly, it doesn't happen that often at all. Like, I guess you think that now that your baby has teeth, they're gonna just be gnawing at your breast all the time, but no, they're not. They might bite it for a second because they forget you just bit it on accident. You tell them, no, don't do that. They don't want to bite your breast either. There's no benefit to them for biting your breast. So not biting your breast because they like it. They just do it. Maybe on accident, maybe not, but it's not something like not getting milk. Just keep going, because I just can't believe that 10% of all deaths for children under 5, we could actually prevent those deaths. I just can't believe that all those deaths of children under 5, 10% of them could actually be prevented if we lived in a culture, in a world that supported breastfeeding, supported moms who want to breastfeed. What happened? Oh, she went to the wrong app, y'all. Sometimes she goes to the other apps and she's like, I don't know what this is. Yikes, y'all. These are some deep benefits. I mean, I don't know. I didn't even expect to like that these were going to be so powerful, that it was going to be like, oh gosh, I have to breastfeed, I have to keep going. But this is even motivating to me, and I'm like, I really have to keep going, because this is like a life or death situation, and I have to keep this content flowing and keep sharing with you guys, because this information is so important. We really have to raise more awareness for breastfeeding. If you know of any other benefits that I didn't mention today, let me know down in the comments below. Let's grow together. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Become a breastie. That's just my bestie, and we're on this breastfeeding journey together. We motivate each other. Let's become this community of mothers who are encouraging each other to keep breastfeeding, keep giving our children all of these great, amazing benefits that there really is nothing else that can provide for our children like breast milk. Okay, there's really no formula. Formula tries to copy breast milk. It tries to emulate breast milk. It doesn't mean it's better than breast milk. It tries to emulate breast milk. So if you're trying to give your baby the very best that you have to give, kudos to you. And I support the way all mothers feed, but I don't know if Avia does. I'm just playing. I especially support breastfeeding moms, and I'm here with you. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching my channel and staying connected to my community. Thank you. Love you guys.